Burrhus Frederic Skinner, the legendary behaviorist behind operant conditioning. In the quaint town of Susquehanna, Pennsylvania, as the calendar marked March 20th, 1904, a cry echoed, heralding the birth of Burrhus Frederic Skinner. The world then was unaware that this young soul, wrapped in innocence, would one day challenge age-old beliefs and redefine our understanding of the human psyche. Welcome, dear viewers of the Chronicles of Legends YouTube channel. We're about to embark on a riveting journey through time, unveiling the life of a man whose theories have shaped the very essence of modern psychology. Fasten your seatbelts and grab your notepads, for this is a tale you won't want to forget. In the bustling lanes of Susquehanna, every corner whispered tales of dreams and ambitions. However, among the many bright-eyed children with their heads filled with dreams, young Burrhus stood out. There was a distinct gleam in his eyes, an unmistakable sign that he was meant for a journey less traveled. Burrhus's childhood room was a curious mix. Alongside the usual trinkets of a boy growing up in the early 20th century, books and papers were scattered all around. These weren't just any books. They were the works of some of the most influential minds of his time. By the tender age of 12, he was already absorbing the works of Ivan Pavlov, who, in 1904, the very year Burrhus was born, was awarded the Nobel Prize for his work on the physiology of the digestive glands. There were also writings of Edward Thorndike, who, in 1898, presented the law of effect, a theory that behavior that is followed by pleasant consequences is likely to be repeated. And not to forget William James's groundbreaking Principles of Psychology, published in 1890, which Burrhus perused with keen interest. These early readings weren't just casual pastimes, but the building blocks that set the stage for his future groundbreaking work. They planted seeds of thought, which germinated over time into his firm beliefs and influential theories. Years whisked by, and the ambitious boy from Susquehanna found himself in the hallowed halls of Harvard University. By 1958, B.F. Skinner, as he was now popularly known, had ascended to the esteemed position of the Edgar Pierce Professor of Psychology, an honor he held with grace and intellect until 1974. Harvard had been home to numerous bright minds, but Skinner was a class apart. It wasn't just his vast knowledge or professorship that set him apart. It was his innate ability to innovate. Skinner didn't just teach, he envisioned. He dreamed of a world where psychology wasn't just about theoretical concepts, but about a profound and tangible understanding of human behavior. And with every lecture he delivered and every experiment he conducted, he took a step closer to turning that vision into a reality. Now, what is B.F. Skinner's theory, you ask? As you dive into the annals of psychology, a name that frequently emerges, intricately woven into its rich fabric, is that of B.F. Skinner. So, what precisely is B.F. Skinner's theory, the cornerstone of his legacy? Skinner is lauded across the academic world for pioneering the theory of behaviorism. But what makes his contribution unique? At a time when psychology was heavily preoccupied with the labyrinth of human emotions and internal cognitions, Skinner dared to traverse a different path. He propounded that it was not the unseen internal thoughts or feelings that should be the primary focus, but the observable, tangible behaviors. The crux of Skinner's argument was that our actions, every choice we make, are shaped by their outcomes. To put it succinctly, behaviors that are followed by favorable consequences are likely to be repeated, while those that lead to undesirable results tend to be suppressed. In 1938, his groundbreaking work, The Behavior of Organisms, introduced the world to the concept of operant conditioning. This was not merely a theoretical concept, it was an observation of how behavior is either amplified or diminished by its immediate consequences, whether in the form of rewards or punishments. But how did Skinner demonstrate this revolutionary idea? Enter the operant conditioning chamber, popularly and perhaps a tad infamously known as the Skinner box. This was no ordinary box. Within its confines, Skinner meticulously conducted experiments that would reshape our understanding of behavior. Using primarily rats and pigeons as subjects, Skinner observed how these organisms would modify their behaviors based on positive reinforcements, like food, or negative consequences, like a mild electric shock. For instance, a rat might be trained to press a lever to receive a food pellet, illustrating how behavior, pressing the lever, can be shaped by positive outcomes, getting the food. Through the lens of the Skinner box, he provided compelling insights into the mechanics of learning and adaptation. It was a testament to the fact that behavior, be it in animals or humans, is not just instinctual, but is heavily influenced by the environment and the outcomes of one's actions. The world often wonders, what is the conclusion of Skinner's theory? In the hallowed halls of academia and amidst the buzz of intellectual conversations, a question often echoed: what, at its core, is the conclusion of Skinner's groundbreaking theory? The answer, though seemingly straightforward, was revolutionary for its time. B.F. Skinner, in his inimitable way, proclaimed that it wasn't the intricate maze of our internal thoughts and feelings that determined our actions. Instead, he posited that our environment, the world we interact with daily, plays the starring role in shaping our behavior. This was a seismic shift in perspective, particularly in the 1950s and 60s, as it directly challenged the prevailing psychological paradigm, which placed immense importance on internal processes. To illustrate, consider Skinner's renowned experiments involving pigeons in the 1960s. Rather than attributing their behaviors to mere instincts or internal drives, Skinner demonstrated how external factors, such as rewards and punishments, could influence and modify their actions. If a pigeon learned that pecking a disc led to food, it did so more frequently, a clear sign of the environment molding behavior. But Skinner's brilliance wasn't confined to just the realms of psychology. His innovative spirit took tangible form when he ventured into the world of invention. In the early 1940s, inspired by the needs of his own family, Skinner introduced the world to the air crib. Far from being a conventional crib, it was a climate-controlled environment for babies. Designed to maintain a consistent temperature and provide utmost comfort, the air crib was Skinner's attempt at applying behavioral principles to enhance the well-being of infants, thereby ensuring they interacted with their environment in more positive ways. Yet, the reach of Skinner's ideas wasn't restricted to the laboratories or the nurseries. His influence permeated the broader intellectual landscape. Eminent thinkers like Willard Van Orman Quine, a significant figure in the world of logic and philosophy in the 20th century, drew upon Skinner's concepts. Similarly, Shoshana Zuboff, whose work in the late 20th and early 21st centuries tackled the complex interplay between technology and society, found value in Skinner's perspectives on behavior. The legacy of B.F. Skinner, thus, stands as a testament to a mind that not only questioned established beliefs, but also endeavored to reshape them, influencing generations in the process. Within the intricate mosaic of Skinner's life, adorned with pioneering research and revolutionary theories, there shone a consistent beam of love and steadfast support. Yvonne Blue. Their paths converged in the mid-1930s, an era defined by its own socio-political upheavals. Amidst a backdrop of jazz music, the looming shadows of war, and the buzzing world of academia, Yvonne became the beacon of calm in Skinner's life. 1936 marked the union of these two souls. Their vows weren't just words, they were promises that would endure the turbulent waves of time. As the world underwent seismic changes, World War II, the dawn of the space age, and the civil rights movement, to name a few, their bond remained steadfast. Yvonne wasn't just Skinner's wife. She was his confidant, his sounding board, and often the voice of reason in his quest for knowledge. The chapters of their shared life unfolded page by page, year by year, until 1990. It was then, in the historic city of Cambridge, Massachusetts, a place echoing with tales of countless scholars, that Skinner's journey reached its sunset. But as with all legends, his story was far from over. For his ideas, his contributions would ripple through time. Skinner's illustrious career was not merely a showcase of awards and honors, although they were aplenty. His legacy was carved from his audacity to question the status quo, his relentless pursuit to decode the enigma of human behavior, and his unwavering commitment to enrich the discipline of psychology. Among the myriad of thoughts he left behind, one quote encapsulates the essence of his worldview, serving as a window into his profound intellect. The real problem is not whether machinists think, but whether men do. In an era burgeoning with technological advancements, Skinner's words were prophetic, nudging humanity to introspect, to question, and above all, to think. B.F. Skinner, a beacon in the world of behavioral science. As we stand at the crossroads of history and the future, recounting the journey of B.F. Skinner, we are reminded of a visionary who dared to delve deep into the abyss of the human psyche. His legacy is not confined within the four walls of a classroom or the pages of academic journals. Every time we reward a child for good behavior, or when corporations analyze consumer habits to optimize their strategies, the shadow of Skinner's principles looms large. Think of the Employee of the Month awards in workplaces, or the dopamine hit one feels when receiving a like on social media. These contemporary examples are but echoes of Skinner's groundbreaking work on operant conditioning from the 1930s and 40s. Yet, one of his most profound reflections remains as relevant today as it was during the 20th century. The real problem is not whether machines think, but whether men do. In an age of artificial intelligence and digital revolutions, Skinner's words serve as a clarion call, urging us to harness our innate human ability to think, reflect, and evolve. But dear viewer, our chronicle on B.F. Skinner might have concluded, but the essence of his teachings is eternal. As you traverse the intricate pathways of life, let Skinner's insights guide your understanding of human behavior, nudging you to question, learn, and grow. And as you ponder over these revelations, if you find yourself captivated by the tales of legends and the insights they offer, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join our community on the Chronicles of Legends YouTube channel, where history meets the present and stories come alive. Until next time, keep thinking, keep exploring,